Welcome back to our Intro to After Effects class. And in this class, I'm going to teach you how to make masks and mats. First off, we have our footage already set up here in After Effects. Hit spacebar and it's just playback. It's a little guy getting drenched by milk. All right. So in this shot, I want to have binoculars. I want to have somebody looking through binoculars at what's going on from a distance. So we're going to need to make a layer that's going to serve as our kind of like a cookie, or it's an old term, or as our icon to look like it's actual binoculars. To do that, I need to go to Layers, New, Solid, and I'll make a black one. And this is basically going to be our edge of our binoculars. Now, I can go in here and I could do a couple things. I can actually select the black layer. Whoops, let's go there. Boom. Select the black layer and then click on your little shape tools and hit the circles, and I can make some, whoops, that's not the one I wanted. Hold on, there we go, ellipse tool, and make some circles and hold down the shift and I can whatever, right? But the key here is it's only kind of made me a dot. I want to subtract. So I want to go down to my mat. If you want to get in there, open your black layer like this, open it up, open your masks, set the mask to subtract, right? To get the perfect same circle, I can hit Control D, highlighting that. Let's change the color from red to like a green so we can see the difference of them. And then I click on this and I just click and arrow key. I shift click arrow key. Shift arrow key over. So there we go. And so now I have my binoculars. I can select both of them at the same time and I can move them up. And I can pretty much just animate the path of these. It's the mask path. So I can actually have, for instance, let's go to about right here. Right there. Let's go there. I'm going to click on the mask path and then go all the way to the bottom of the shot and then just arrow all the way down. All right. Or I can just take the tool here and move that down. So I'm actually going to ease into the position. Ease in. Okay. So if I hit spacebar, whoops. They're not moving in the proper, oops, because that one doesn't have an ease in. Let's talk that, ease in, boop. All right, so if I hit spacebar, they come in at the same time, and then you have that whole thing. Now there's a couple things here. First of all, I want to feather that. They need feathered, so I'm going to just kind of increase the feather on one and see where that's at, about 56. I like that, and then I'm going to feather this one to 56 as well. There we go. And just change the numerical value like that. Oops, and if it doesn't do what I want, I just type in 56. There we go. To hide these masks, I can actually, or to hide the mask controls, I can click this little icon here, and there it hides it, so you can actually see what's going on. Hit spacebar again, and there we go. We got our little binoculars looking at this guy. Okay, now there's an advantage and a disadvantage to doing it this way. The first of all, doing it that way, it gives you some control, but it doesn't give you a lot of control. So let's go and just delete these masks so they don't exist anymore. I'm going to just delete them. And what we're going to do is we're going to use what's called a track mat. I'm going to add a layer, new, solid. And this one, I'm going to change color just for reference sake. We're going to make it green. It doesn't have to be green, but we're going to just make it green. We're going to call this our mat. And this is going to be called our binoculars. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a hole in this, just like we did before. Click and drag, hold down shift so it's actually the proper shape that I want. And then I'm going to duplicate this. Control D, there we go. And I'm going to move this one over here. There we go. And let's check that we're in the center of the shot. We're going to use a grid, and we're going to just take these guys, select them, and get them roughly about right there. Okay, so that's kind of the center of the shot. Now, what we can do is, because we have this green overlay here, we can take what's called a track mat. And I'm going to select the binocular. I'm going to grab this under track mat, the pick whip, and I'm going to select the mat section. And then now, of course, we have that same problem we had before, except this time I'm going to click this little icon here, which inverts the mat. So this one here does alpha, and that one there does luma. That's now at alpha, and now we have inverted it. not inverted, inverted. Okay, so it's basically at subtract. And what we can do here is we can keyframe the main mat. And this gives us a lot more power and control. So I'm going to go actually to about right there and hit my keyframe there. This little icon allows a keyframe. Scroll over here, and then I'm going to page down, not page down, sorry. I'm going to shift and arrow down at the bottom, and then I'm going to hit spacebar, and then we can see where our animation happens. Once again, right click this little icon here, or sorry, keyframe, and put ease in, and then now it should ease slowly in. Now, how do I get this to feather? I can actually feather that doing these as well. We had it at 56 before, I think. There we go, 56 on that one, and 56 on this one. There we go. And that is the difference between a matte and a mask. And why would they be important? Well, for instance, if I were to just move this background, right, for any reason, if we scaled or something, and we had the roto masks on there, we're going to move and scale those as well. But if I wanted to just animate this and I want to change my background or do something on a different scale, I can always get away with that because I can always just use a track matte that's all an animated separate layer, and just makes things a lot better and a lot easier and a lot more control for you overall. All right, so that should do it for our mattes and masks tutorial. I look forward to seeing you in the next one, in our next lesson, and thanks. Bye.